politicsinnigeria.com. And what we do is kick back, relax, relax, and talk music, sports, politics, and everything in between. My name is Sola Rogers.
And my name is Dolupo. You know, the one and only. And with me here is my jealous fellow.
Well, call it what you want.
Very jealous.
Jealous.
But anyway, I'm not even going to go on that.
Sadly, you have nothing for me to be jealous of. But
okay, we'll see.
We'd like to stay focused and not be distracted by people who seem to be so self-absorbed. But you know how life is now. I need to allow them from time to time. So,
whatever it is.
If you don't want to be sanctioned,
anything.
If you don't want to be sanctioned by some people that are sanctioning people, we'll be talking about a couple of things today. It's still political season in Nigeria. March the 18th is upon us. It's the day for gubernatorial and House of Assembly elections, and they are holding across the nation in most of the states. Some states will not be having elections because they have staggered elections. In some states, all they're going to be having is just the House of Assembly elections. And some states are actually going to be having senatorial and
there are a few
House of Reps
elections.
Exactly.
That's very true. Sorry, 1 second.
So, yeah, of course, we're definitely talking sports and everything.
It's not there. That's what I was asking.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, there are a lot of accusations flying around back and forth. We're definitely going to get to that, like he said. There's a lot of people that are getting sanctioned, as we know. It's election season. It is still election season. It's about 2 days, or maybe if you call it 3 nights. No, it's 2 nights actually. Okay, Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night. Yeah, 3 nights to the governorship elections. Hopefully it is not moved again. Like, honestly, I'm at a point where I really let's just get this over with, and let's just find something else to talk about. Not saying that the election gist is not interesting. No, to me, to be honest, there's even more gist than regular because of the election. So yes, but really, it's just tiring, and there's just a lot of gist going back and forth. There's a lot of propaganda. There's a lot of accusations flying here and there. Let it just, once the elections are done, then maybe we can fully get into the legal season.
That's the sequence of things in Nigeria. We move from the polling booths to the law courts.
So maybe if we get to the law courts, there will also be we'll be getting a lot of drama from that. But really, I honestly cannot get over this election season. So yeah, there's a lot of political stories that we would also be touching. Also, there's a bit of sports here and there. There's an update of a story that we talked about concerning FIFA yesterday. There is talks of Messi. Messi's in the news. Erling Haaland is also in the news. Champions League football is definitely ongoing since yesterday and today. I think that's second leg of the round of 16. Some people are already in the quarterfinals, at least that they know now. Some people are still going to be digging it. It's going to be a very interesting game. There's going to be a very interesting game today. So, on that note, I bid you a warm welcome to the bar. And I think I'm going to be starting today's show with people getting sanctioned, really. Before we get to that, let me just breeze through this story. So today, the Nigerian the Bureau of Statistics, the National Bureau of Statistics. You know, the funny thing, I saw the Nigerian broadcasting was always coming to my head. Yeah. So the National Bureau of Statistics has now released a statement talking about the inflation for the month of February, and it has increased from, I think, 21.82 last month for January to 21.91, which is obvious that our inflation is increasing. But I just have one question for Mr. President, Mr. Vice President, and Mr. Governor of the CBN. I thought this Naira swap and Naira mop up and Naira whatever it is that they're calling it, because now I'm not even sure there's an English for it. I thought one of the things it was supposed to do was to reduce inflation.
Well, everybody can think whatever they want to think or assume what they want to assume or agree or disagree. The bottom line remains the numbers. The stats are there. The Bureau of Statistics is, equipped to give us the very, very, correct data when it comes to anything statistics in Nigeria, especially when they bring out these monthly reports that everybody looks forward to. And it is glaring. So it doesn't matter what they thought. There have been other countries. India made the same mistake. There have been countries that say, oh, we're going to do this and do that. And they end up, falling flat on their faces. Learn? So the thing here is that the CBN and the federal government of Nigeria has failed Nigerians. They went about it the wrongest ways. There are laws that guide and guard such things, and they did not follow those laws to the letter. Then they started coming up with different draconian moves, and everybody said it was geared towards curbing some funny security. Whatever. Yes, we have these security challenges. I'm not writing them off, but you do not cut off the nose to spite the face. You don't do that. You cut off the nose. This face cannot be spited because the nose is gone. No, even the nose is gone. None. Yeah. Bottom line is that you don't punish, Nigerians because
of a few people.
Because of a few, it's not done. And when we're still not out of the shocking effects of this.
Oh yeah.
Naira redesign mishap. It's one of the worst things that's ever happened to us as a nation, and I make bold to say this openly, that the CBN and the federal government of Nigeria failed Nigerians because this policy was not handled properly. Exactly. I repeat again, I like the concept of redesigning the Naira as at when due. Yeah. Previous governments had failed to do it.
They could have just done it, and
but you could have done it,
and then we move on.
And you didn't even need to time it towards an election.
Oh God!
Look, why didn't you do it last year? Why didn't you do it 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, 6? You had to be towards an election. So it makes people agree that it's not a conspiracy theory. It was targeted at certain things. Again, there's a statement credited to the Vice President of Nigeria where he was speaking to some foreign nationals and was talking about how, if properly managed, it would allow them, reduce the influence of vote buying and blah blah blah, and monitoring and all of these are things that points us to the fact that even if you wanted to do that, you don't do it at the detriment of the people that you swore to serve protect.
Exactly.
So
it's
a no for me. So if the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics comes out with an inflation stat, it is what it is.
It is what it is. In fact, to me, I think this inflation should have been higher, because now it should have started from what causes inflation: scarcity. Scarcity of the Naira itself. It should be part of what issues, because anyway, let's move on from that, and let's begin from the National Broadcasting Commission, the NBC, where they have come up to say that they've sanctioned 25 broadcast stations. Honestly, I went in search of to know who was sanctioned and who was not. Funny enough, they did not put it there. I don't know why they did. But now they're saying that everybody needs to be careful. People need to be professional. To me, to be honest with you, I think what this just says is that media houses really needs to be professional. And when it comes to professionalism and elections, I think that a lot of media houses have not been doing that of late. They're saying that 17 of this number was sanctioned for broadcasting partisan party content after the prescribed 24-hour stoppage time, while 4 stations have been sanctioned for divisive statements.
Shall we say welcome back to the Nigerian Broadcasting Commission?
Yeah, you just woke up.
I think they've been on holiday for a long time. I think that's what's going on. I think I don't think, I know that they've been on holiday because we've been in the media for a few days. And I remember that the last place that we worked at before this place, we were getting letters on a monthly basis from the NBC.
I think that personally,
and the NBC letters would detail sanctions for several broadcast organizations on a monthly basis. On a monthly basis, we were getting those letters. We weren't sanctioned anyway. Shout out to all of us. But what I'm trying to say in essence is that the NBC that was sending that letter was a regional NBC in the Southwest, based in Ibadan, but handling everything Southwest. Coming back to Lagos, where you think standards are high and things, you listen to radio stations in Lagos, and they're breaking all the rules.
I honestly think that NBC in Lagos works different.
They're breaking all the rules.
I think that it works different. I think that maybe their own rules, they have a different set of rules, personally. And I think that was why I was actually looking out for the stations that were sanctioned. You see the kind of things that are being said. It's okay if maybe you're not a media house and you say things on social media and whatever. But you are a whole media house. You see, you don't, it's not even rocket science. You don't even have to be told to say, this person is partisan towards his party, is, and I think that we're losing it as an industry. I think that because of the kind of things that people do, like take for example, I saw yesterday, this was a broadcaster, very popular one from Ibadan. He's been in the political space for a long time. In fact, he's pretty popular. And I saw a series of tweets yesterday where he seemed to be campaigning for a particular candidate. Basically, because when you come up and you're saying, oh, this person has done this, I was there, and they've done this thing, and they've done that, and I'm like, okay, where do we draw the line?
I'm going to speak on behalf of this broadcaster that you're referring to. And I'll say that, again, at times it has to do with context. Maybe the timing of his tweets, 3 or 4 days to a gubernatorial election, may make it seem like a campaign. However, this guy, never met him one-on-one, had the governor of Oyo State on his program, and he grilled him, gave it to him. He was on the same program that he even more or less burst the governor's bubbles about some accusations that the governor had made that was referred to as beer parlogist at some point in time.
Yeah.
After doing all of that, one of the projects that the governor was referring to was what he went to confirm. Like, okay, you know what? Fact-finding mission. That's what he has done. The only thing,
I'm sorry.
the only thing
the
only thing you can fault is him putting out the tweet a few days to the gubernatorial elections in Oyo State. It will make it seem that he was promoting the incumbent governor of Oyo.
Exactly.
But on behalf of this particular broadcaster, I don't think that's what he was doing.
I'm sorry. I don't even think I read it wrong.
I don't
even agree.
That's what he was doing.
Because call it timing, whatever, he should have been more sensitive about it. If you're going to tell me that you're not partisan, then I'm sorry. That there's no part of it that shows that. And it's close to say that we can't even start mentioning names. But there's so many that we watch and then you see, like, okay, did we go to the same broadcasting school? Like, is it the same rules that governs us all? Do you understand? I'm like, we at times we really need to look in what, and if we're not careful, we would end up being rubbished because
when I was way younger, there was something that I had heard. You know, you heard about idiomatic expressions. You heard about rhymes and also, but there was this particular line that said, "He that pays the piper dictates the tune."
Mm-hmm.
They remember the story of the Pied Piper of, is it Hermelin or so? You know, the Pied Piper that helped a city clear its rat infestation by playing his pipe. Then he did all of that, and they were supposed to pay him. They didn't pay him. Then he also used the same
thing
to move their children. Abi, very sad story though. I don't know why they made us read those things then. Maybe because we couldn't understand the full import of some of these stories when we were growing up. But this is it. Now, he that pays the piper dictates the tune. If you bring a band to your party, you tell them how to play, or what to play, or who to play for, or what to sing about. And that's what's playing out in the media today. The Nigerian media space, which we are part of, is majorly owned by vested interest. Most of the platforms, the media platforms that you see, are owned by people who have affiliations or are full-blooded members of certain political parties or groups. And it ends up playing out one way or the other. Some of them try so hard to mask it. Some of them try so hard to be professional. But somewhere along the line, you'll see that they will still be used as a tool by the owners. And even within those organizations, even if the owner has a certain leaning, the editors are also a very powerful set of people.
Yeah.
The news editors, the group editors and all, they have a way of making the stories go a certain kind of way. You know, so in talking about what the media is doing or has done, we must understand that some of these people are working for biased platforms already. And again, some of them just feel compelled. Some of them feel compelled to, you know, try to impress. On the flip side, there are some who, you know, regardless of their affiliations, will stay professional. And those ones are very rare. We don't have them, you know, out there. There are not many. There are not many of them. So the media is doing a disservice to itself, and the Broadcast Commission is sleeping on it. I watch TV stations in Lagos, and I look at them and I listen to them. Listen to radio and I'm like, wait, something has changed. Maybe it's the current leadership of the Broadcasting Commission in Nigeria that has decided to, you know, soft pedal a bit. But I see infractions that were frowned upon 4 or 5 years ago, you know, that are being allowed to fly these days.
Now, yeah.
A presidential candidate was on a TV station a few days ago, and he even went as far as inferring that he had supporters in that particular TV station. I'm sure he knows what he's saying. And these are the issues.
It was completely
these are the issues.
Unnecessary.
Now, notice that I didn't mention any TV station or any presidential candidate. But these are the things that
it is what it is.
that
it
is
is what
happening.
it is. I think that even if we can't completely, like you said, we can't completely remove like partisanship and all that. Let's be honest with ourselves. But we shouldn't also make it so obvious.
The NBC rules, some of them might sound draconian or harsh or even outdated. But you see, if you look at the undertone, they're trying to make sure that, one, you stay professional.
Yeah,
and you don't influence people wrongly.
Exactly.
Like, as a TV or radio presenter, you're not supposed to come on air to push people towards a certain party. I look at what people are doing. There are a lot of media practitioners who, on their social media, are campaigning. I cringe. I'm like, no.
Like, okay.
Because
are you sure? I'm like, okay, like, are we sure that we understand the same thing?
And when you have a discussion about it, they say this is their personal. It's not.
It's not. It just completely changes.
It rubs off on your organization.
And you know, for me, like you said, it's very, very interesting when you see these things. People need to understand, other than the fact that it rubs off on your organization. Everybody is. I think we need to start having that conversation that whether we like it or not, we're all human beings, and everybody needs to, what's the word now? Everybody has preferences. That's the word. You cannot take it away from you as a human being. You have choices. Yes, you're supposed to be non-partisan. You're supposed to be all that. Yes, I agree with that. But can you just rein it in?
Yeah,
keep it to yourself.
Keep your choices to yourself.
Keep your choices to yourself. It's not a bad thing to have choices.
Again, your job is to create awareness and let people make up their own minds.
Yeah.
Let them make informed decisions. And in doing it, that's why you need to strike a balance. You know, again, when you
put all the information out, and
when you mention one, you have to mention 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 till 18. When it came to presidential, we tried. You know, so these are the issues, and the Nigerian Broadcasting Commission really needs to step up our game, especially when it comes to keeping everybody professional. Now, we are members of the Broadcast Association. It's a newly formed or reformed Broadcast Association, and this is the fulcrum of that group. The idea is to keep everybody as professional as possible, and it is important that these things are done. You listen to some colleagues of yours in court and you cringe, like no, why would you do that? Again, the advent of social media is a blessing and a curse. Which one are you, Mr. Broadcaster, Madam Broadcaster? Which one are you?
I think that we just need to stay professional, and let's move on from that, and let's move on. Still definitely talking about election matters here. The Independent National Electoral Commission has now announced that they've configured 4,940 BVAs machines, and they've also commenced distribution of sensitive materials to states.
Yeah, again, this is always like a precursor to the main event, which is the election. They require a lot of logistics and a lot of time to pull these things off. We were supposed to have these elections last week, but some court cases that were brought forward by some parties or a particular party led to the postponement of the elections. Now, March the 18th is fast upon us, and they have commenced the whole process again. You know, I really hope and pray that there's no postponement again. There's nobody going to court trying to do anything that would take this thing, because there is this negative feeling that politics brings.
Okay.
People are at loggerheads. We have drummed up religious and ethnic sentiment.
Yeah.
It has hit a crescendo. It's the highest I have seen in like forever.
Yeah, I agree with you. There's been a lot of unnecessary
we're at loggerheads with each other. We don't allow people, make their choices. I believe that there is no way. Look, even the devil has supporters.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So this statement that you made, yeah, my mom says this thing a lot, and until we also realize that even if you feel this person is so bad, like you said, it's the devil himself. People have choices. People need to be able to understand. I saw a tweet about 2 days ago where people are going to the extent of reporting a Nollywood actor's movies on Netflix because she chooses to support one person that you do not like. What sense does that make? Like, I don't know why in the world anybody would want to stop anybody's form of livelihood because, and I heard this statement a lot that if you are voting for this person, then you hate Nigeria. If you are voting for this person, you're not a patriotic. You're like, who are you to say? Who are you to you are the one that knows the parameters of good and bad, and at times it's almost disgusting. Like, are you serious? Are we saying that you people do not realize that you will not have a democracy if everybody is thinking alike.
Yeah, we need to realize that people must make their choices. In life, it's all about choices. People choose to be with a certain partner, to walk a certain road, to sleep a certain time. It's all about choices.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of democracy, and that's the beauty of, the evolution of man itself. The fact that we keep, learning and understanding, but basically allowing everybody, to have a say. So these are the issues. So on March the 18th, we would breathe. We'll breathe out and say, thank God. They will go through the whole process of monitoring state to state to find out who's winning and who's lost, and who's about to lose, who is returning, who is not going to return, who's going to be new, who's going to be old. No matter what happens, we need to be done with this thing so that we can move to governance, and again, so that lawyers can move to their own season.
Yeah, Abi.
The legal season.
It's time to make some money. So really, like I said before, seriously looking forward to these elections so that we can just get it over with, and then that's it. Moving on from that, we still have stories from INEC. There's still a lot of stories. INEC is replying everybody, giving everybody gas boost now, because I think that they're not the passive INEC that we used to know before. Now, INEC has also replied somebody. Like I said, today is a lot of gas boost from INEC and from everybody back and forth. We're going all the way to Cross River, where what happened is that the SDP, the Social Democratic Party in Cross River State, if I'm correct, had now said they were asking INEC to sign the election result sheets for the Saturday gubernatorial and state House of Assembly elections in advance.
What is the reason for a political party asking the electoral body to sign the result sheets in advance?
So they argue that the measure would help in checking and preventing irregularities during the elections. Basically, I think what they were saying is that at least there won't be maybe like change of sheets or anything, since it would already be signed by INEC. Now, the resident electoral commissioner in Cross River State had now said that the operations are guided by the Electoral Act and not by political parties. In the statement, he said, asking INEC to sign result sheets of an election that is yet to be conducted is laughable and uncalled for. I see this as an expression of fear on the part of the party that is making such a demand. Why not intensify your campaigns by going house to house ahead of the contest instead of staying behind to dictate to INEC to do your bidding? INEC is not under any obligation to act according to dictates of any political party, but would operate according to the guidelines for the conduct of elections.
Okay, sounds a tad bit harsh on the part of INEC.
That's what I'm saying. INEC is giving everybody buzz boost.
We need to realize why criticisms are important and they are good. Constructive criticism, because you learn from them, and you can make adjustments. Now, what are the pros and cons of signing or pre-signing a result sheet? The pros are that that it was signed authentically by INEC before it was deployed. The cons are that if you all agree that INEC has signed it, and whatever comes out of that shit is law,
so
how does it stop rigging in any way?
That's what I'm saying. In fact, it aids it because it means that anything written on that sheet is binding.
But the existing
you can't
law,
even see anything about it
the
anymore.
existing law, some of our political parties are in for a shocker.
Yeah.
You are supposed to have an agent in every polling unit.
Yeah, and then that agent is supposed to sign once you're done counting.
When you start to go to court, I'm not a lawyer, but I'm not dumb.
It's in the Electoral Act.
When you start to go to court to question results, your agent
is the one that is supposed to be the witness.
Yeah, because your agent was on ground. Now, if your agent said they signed under duress, maybe there was some gun battle or whatever, the police report and the security report must corroborate what your agent has said.
Mm-hmm.
If you're building a case, I hope you had an agent at every polling unit. So for this Saturday, it's not too late. The presidential is gone. I hope everybody is covered.
I think it's a little bit late because
accreditation.
They already did accreditations and all that. So anybody that does not have it by now, you're on your own. And it's your name.
You hear?
Because remember that they already submitted their names. So it's the name of the person submitted to INEC that should also be signed.
So for political parties, it's like you're going into a new system or any system. You must study the laws that empower that system and work with it. You can even work around it if you're smart. So some of the polling units that will be without agents and you would have pre-signed a result sheet, how does that stop any party? I'm not going to absolve anybody because I'm at a point where I strongly believe that all Nigerian political parties rig elections. My opinion. If I'm asked to prove it now, you people have put enough on social media for us to use against party A, party B, and C. At least the top three. I'll say they are top three: Labour, APC, and PDP. PDP, APC, and Labour, or APC, Labour, and PDP. I've mentioned them in whatever order. So here we are. Presigning it, in my opinion, would not stop rigging. So SDP, leave this one.
Leave this one. Anyway, INEC has told you people to just keep it. Just keep
leave
quiet.
Matter for Matthias.
Anyway, INEC still has is another bad boss again. They are now denied appointing a former commissioner of Lagos, Femi Odubiyi, as the head of its Information and Communications Technology Department in Lagos State. Now, this is where they are reacting to a statement where a former deputy national chairman of the PDP, Bode George, said that the electoral body had appointed this particular person in its payroll. Now, according to INEC, they're saying that what the PDP chieftain is saying is false. But is he a PDP chieftain anymore at this point?
He still is.
Okay.
Did you hear where the PDP removed him, or did he resign?
True. Anyway, they're saying that this matter is false, adding that INEC staff are all non-partisan and that they've never occupied any political post. They're saying that the name Femi Odubiyi does not even exist within their ICT department at the headquarters or any state office.
Yeah, this story actually went, now we use the word virally. Viral. The statement by Mr. Bode George. He, of course, is the former national deputy chairman of the PDP. And 2 days ago, we have been hearing this rumor on social media. It's been flying around. Yeah. I've seen people post it and boldly state it, you know. But here is, Chief Bode George, saying that a certain Femi Odubiyi, is involved with INEC's ICT department. And isn't it sad that he actually was wrong? We need to be careful. Look, play your politics without eating up the polity. I think Mr. Bode George, but my problem again is not with Chief Bode George or Mr. Bode. My problem is with INEC. When people make this kind of statements, what do? You put out a statement and move on. The other day, they said that
oh my God.
They said he gave someone 500 million new notes.
And then you just
CBN put out a statement and that was it.
Go. That one. I'm even
Sue the paper. What's the paper? The Nation. Sue the Nation.
The media house. I don't know why you should not sue them. I think it was even too much of a hefty allegation, which they would not. It says a lot about the CBN.
I'm going to quote Chief Bode George.
Okay.
I call on all security apparatus of government to quickly wade into this matter by inviting Odubiyi to explain whatever role he has played, as well as tell Nigerians how he got into INEC ICT unit, being a commissioner in Lagos State. The masquerade must be unveiled. This unholy alliance that has pushed our country towards precipice must be thoroughly checked and nipped in the bud. Chief Bode George said all of this. INEC's response: we don't know Odubiyi. None of our staff are partisan. Our ICT team is intact. And that's end of matter. And we have lawyers who are ready, to do the right thing in court. The only way we can control such things and stop it from happening is by going to court and getting judgments against such people. That's the way I see it.
I agree with you. I think that some of these things are very hefty. They're very hefty allegation, and people actually need to be careful. And to also keep the sanctity of INEC probably needs to sue some of these people. Personally, that's what I feel. To also, because when people throw out these allegations, a lot of people hear it. When you're releasing a statement to counter what he said, not everybody might see it.
Yeah, the rebuttals and all of that, they don't fly as much.
They don't fly exactly
accusations.
At the accusations. So I think that at times maybe INEC needs to do a little bit more than just put out a statement on that. And still talking about Bode George, Chief Bode George is a lot in the news today, as the president-elect Bola Tinubu has disowned a viral statement on Bode George going on exile. Now, again, I would ask you to help us look for the statement that's attributed to Bode George, saying that he was going to leave Nigeria or something like that.
Yeah, it's look, people say these things all the time. A couple of years ago, one of my favorite people in the world, Professor Wole Soyinka, had said something similar about America. You get. Then, yeah, but if this person wins, I'm gonna,
Oh yeah, I think I remember that. I think he was going to tear his American passport. Or
stuff like that,
Yeah.
So we hear all of these things all the time. We hear it all the time.
But people never go through me there, yeah.
We don't know.
I'm just saying.
I'm not saying, so.
If for your own credibility now, you can't.
I remember when a few people were like, if Donald Trump wins, they're going to leave America. They're moving to Canada. They're moving to whatever. He won. He won that election. 4
years.
He won the electoral college, lost the popular vote, but he became president of America for 4 years. And how many of those people actually? So people make these statements all the time. I have learned to take it with a pinch of salt. So, on the 16th of February, 2020.
Oh wow, as far back as that. Okay.
Chief Bode George. Actually did say that he was going to leave Nigeria if Bola Tinubu becomes president. He said it. He said, I'll dump Nigeria for Togo if Tinubu becomes president, which is the camera we're on now. I'm doing it for emphasis. I will dump Nigeria for Togo. But
Hello.
Again, I know
A little reminder.
say what you want to say, because
A little reminder. Sir. Grandpa. Except the court says otherwise. Tinubu won the elections. Where are you going to go?
okay, so a big shout out to media houses that are doing an amazing job. The Cable NG, they have an article that you need to read. It's titled 5 times Bode George has vowed to leave Nigeria
Oh my God.
if Tinubu becomes president. The Cable.
Okay.
The Cable. We'll now do this one.
Okay, that is not nice.
You know,
People are just mean.
And,
Are you joking?
and they actually published this the 20th of March 2022.
Oh, wow.
You know? So
So that was like about a year ago.
yeah. And within this space
It was probably like a reminder, like, hello.
they wrote this 5 years ago.
And that's
You
what
know?
They wrote this last year.
Yeah, so they wrote it last year. You know, in 2015, ahead of the presidential elections, Chief Bode George promised to go on exile.
But he wasn't contesting.
In 2015,
Okay.
that question you should direct it at him. If he said he would go on in 2015, if the then newly formed APC gets into power, because Tinubu would just order that I should be picked up.
Okay, 2 things.
Well,
In 2015, APC won,
I didn't order for him to be picked
and they
up.
didn't order for you to be picked up.
Meanwhile, according to, I'm going to read a line from the Cable. They said APC won the election,
Yeah.
but he docked his promise.
Exactly.
Now they're saying fast forward, you know, to the lead up to 2023 presidential elections.
He didn't say anything in 2019.
Wait now. I'm following the way they wrote
sorry.
it now. Fast forward to the lead up to 2023. Tinubu unveiling his ambition. George resumed his attacks on his longtime political foe. I am quoting the Cable. While repeatedly promising to leave Nigeria if he gets the power seat in Aso Rock. In the past 2 years, George has made that promise at least 5 times in different variations. I'll dump Nigeria for Togo, February 2020.
Please, what's in Togo?
I will cease to be Nigerian. On May 7th, 2021, he was saying this on Arise TV.
Okay.
You know, he said different things. I'll renounce my Nigerian citizenship. He said that a couple of months later, you know, in another chat with the same Arise TV, you know. And in January 2022, you know, I'll move away from Nigeria. You know, that was after Tinubu had announced his presidential bid, you know. I won't be part of this country, he said at a press briefing on March the 19th, 2022.
I shouldn't be laughing, right?
So, let me quote him verbatim from here. If by whatever chance he gets to the villa, I won't be part of this country. I am not joking. I can go to Ghana and be watching with binoculars from afar. You will see what will happen. His wife will now be Senate president. His son will be governor of Lagos. His daughter will be Iyaloja General of Nigeria. What has he done to prove that he deserves to be honored by anybody in this country? These are direct quotes from Chief Bode George.
Okay, so not holding brief for Tinubu.
A big shout out to the Cable NG.
With that statement, last I checked, Tinubu's son is not contesting for Lagos State government.
Neither is his wife. His wife
is not even in the Senate anymore.
She's still in the Senate, actually.
She
has about 60-something days
to go. She's definitely not going to be Senate president.
No, she's not. Because she didn't contest again.
I think that...
But his daughter can still be Iyaloja General of Nigeria. But there's nothing like that, actually.
No, that's true. There's nothing like Iyaloja. Those things are states. And I think he just resides with the Southwest. Which, in fact, there are some places in Babaloja that they have not even Iyalojas. Anyway, that one is even by the way. I feel that as elder statesmen, I feel that we need, there are some people that needs to stay as elders. Yeah? Like we're talking about the media, people having opinions and all that. Yeah, people can have their opinion. I think that when some people get to a certain age and with some level of experience, we should get to a point where all you're looking for is how the country is going to get better and being less partisan. I think that is unnecessary, all these conversations. It would be very nice if he said it and he had packed his bags already. Or maybe he's waiting for
on the 5th of March, he actually said that his plans to leave Nigeria are on course. That was after the results were announced that Tinubu
so maybe
is
he's
the president-elect.
waiting for the governorship elections, because he's very, very vocal about this one as well, where there are allegations said against him again from his own party. Now, the gubernatorial candidate for the PDP in Lagos State,
you didn't even talk about the reason why we're discussing this. I thought you were going to expound on the letter that went viral how it's not.
I really been sucked into Bode George thing. So basically, what brought about that conversation was that the sorry. What brought about this conversation was a story that has been going around for I think this morning. It came up this morning that there was a letter purportedly written by the president-elect. Now he has now come out to debunk the matter, basically by his spokesperson, Bayo Ononuga, who they do not seem to leave things lying down. That's not something that we see a lot around. But anyway, they're saying that the letter did not come from them and they do not know anything about it.
So, for everybody that has read this prose, this beautiful piece of prose that felt that, Tinubu said this and that, according to Tinubu's people, they didn't write the letter. Okay, so I'm still talking about this matter and not this particular matter, but talking about the same person. There's another story that has to do with this particular person. Still on Bode
George. And now the Lagos State governorship candidate for the PDP, Abdulaziz Olajide Adediran. What I was putting out there that I think yesterday he finally unveiled his wife to everybody. All the other have been saying that
because people have been asking,
does not have wife.
Where's your wife?
He has wife. We know now. Anyway, so at least we know that there will be a first lady if he wins the elections. Now, he has revealed that he had a discussion with Peter Obi, who is, and then also Atiku Abubakar, the principal of his own party as well, about forming an alliance. Of course, we know that a few days before he had talked about how that was not possible. In his specific statement, he said that it is like sitting on a keg of gunpowder. He has reasons, very valid reasons, to be very honest with you. It was smart. It sounded smart, yeah. So he has his own ways. Now he now came back to accuse this particular Chief Bode George and Chief Bokno Akerele, who was a former deputy governor in Lagos State, saying that they're being divisive in the party. They stay in the party, but they are basically campaigning for Rhodes-vivour, who used to be the PDP and now is the gubernatorial candidate for the Labour Party. So according to him, is saying that we know that Jandor used to be in the APC. That he left the APC because of godfatherism. He got to the PDP, and Chief Bode George, after primaries that he won, wanted to impose Rhodes-vivour on him as his deputy governorship candidate. And he said no, because this is the same godfatherism that took him out of the APC, and is not going to succumb to that again, which we know that was the reason why then, or for other reasons best known to him, that he picked Nollywood actor Funke Akindele as his running mate.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, we know that Chief Bode George had come out to say a few things about that. He has never come out to say that he was okay with that choice. He actually did. I watched an interview where he came up with his grievances and talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Jandor is all now saying that, how do you say that you're part of a party and then you are campaigning? Like, he was
endorsing.
He was one that asked Rhodes-vivour to go to Labour Party.
Mm-hmm.
He endorsed him, that because he's the son of his own friend,
mm-hmm.
and that isn't it the same concept
that you're fighting with
against
the APC.
Exactly.
That the APC has a Tinubu as the godfather. That's what they're saying.
Yeah.
And he's been responsible for picking governor after governor. And he's left the APC so that he could break away from he said that he could actually be a governor in APC, but he doesn't want to be that kind of governor. Those were his exact words. I'm quoting him verbatim.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's politics, and like we said, politics season. Everybody has some rhetoric or some agenda to push or whatever. But if you give Jandor some time, you listen to what he's saying, and he's picking out some
I agree with on this one. I won't say that I'm like a complete fan of his. Not like I'm a complete fan of any of them though, but we're being objective, yeah. What he said actually makes sense.
Look, it has never been about objectivity with politics.
True.
It has always been about interest.
Yeah.
People say to you, oh, we want a competent person. We want a down-to-earth person. We want this and that. But they're still going to vote their interest. Even if that person does not tick all the boxes.
All the boxes, yeah.
You understand? Oh, experience matters. It's a lie. Everybody just wants their person. If you know that today, there will be peace in your life. Mm-hmm. Knowing that
everybody has like a selfish agenda at the
from
end of the
Sanwoolu to Jandor to Doherty to Rhodes-vivour. There are about 12 or so candidates in Lagos, about 12 or 14 candidates. They all are people's interest. Forget the story of whatever, because if it's about experience and competence, that field will be narrowed to at least 3 or 4 people.
3 people, yeah. So
I'm talking about Lagos now.
Yeah, basically, on this one, I'm actually on Jandor's side. Makes what he's actually.
So what he's saying is that you say that APC has a godfather system,
but you're trying to do
but
the same
you did
thing.
the same thing in the PDP. It failed. Then you extended it to the Labour Party. Now they talked about an alliance, and Jandor kept on saying that. Look, listen, guys. If you want an alliance, he is unencumbered. He doesn't have any court cases. He doesn't have any issues. That the Labour Party should collapse their structure to support him. But he said that it doesn't have to be him, or that it could be anybody. But that the reason why Rhodes-vivour should not be the consensus candidate of PDP and Labour is because there are 2 court cases pending. I am now speaking about what Jandor said. Please, when you listen to this or watch this, I'm just relaying the message.
Yeah, but he's actually been. It is what it is. There actually
a few days ago, we saw Mr. Awamaridi. And he's talked about a pending court case.
Yes.
And how he is still the authentic gubernatorial candidate of Labour Party.
The honest truth is that, especially in the past couple of years, how we have seen people. People that do not contest election get a seat, e.g. Rotimi Amaechi, how they get seats and how court sacks people and replaces people.
Bayelsa State,
Zamfara State, we've seen Zamfara State, we see Imo State, we see, there's so many examples. Ondo State, we've seen Ekiti State, we've seen Osun State. I think that for you to be sure, it's better you don't have any court case pending that is threatening your candidacy in itself before you even say you're going to contest the elections. So basically, on this one, I think it is actually making sense, my opinion though. Anyway, let's move on to something very interesting also, as Labour Party in Nasarawa State they are going through a bit of issues. Why? Because a few days ago, the gubernatorial candidate in Labour Party had said that he was stepping down for and endorsing the PDP candidate.
So we have 6 minutes to make it 1 hour.
Yeah. So he did that. And everybody like, oh, okay, Labour Party had collapsed the structure to the PDP. Now the Labour Party have now come out with a statement.
Official statement
saying that the stepping down was just a one-man stepping down for another person.
Yeah.
That the party is now collapsing their structure to the APC candidate.
That's the party in Nasarawa.
In Nasarawa.
Not the national body.
No, the party in Nasarawa.
There's really something wrong with the Labour Party, and I'm going to state it here. They came out with a statement a few days ago how they were going to support another candidate in Rivers State.
Yeah.
And again, they actually have a candidate, a woman.
Yeah.
Who is the authentic, but there were 2 people coming out, but the woman is the candidate. So he had to take their presidential candidate to come out and endorse this woman to make people see that. And again, the party said they were suspending the ESCO in Rivers State. I don't know what their constitution says. Then you hear about them in Oyo State. The Labour Party endorses Seyi Makinde of the PDP. Then Labour Party comes and say, no. They endorse APC.
Then the governorship candidate says he's not stepping
and
down.
And meanwhile,
for
in the same Oyo State, there's a governorship candidate that says that all of those people are just saying what they're saying, that is still the bona fide.
I think that they need to get their acts together.
There's something about Labour. It's showing a lot of disconnection and disorganization.
Yeah.
They are disorientated. And it shouldn't be. And these are facts. Now in Nasarawa, one gubernatorial candidate says he's stepping down for PDP. ESCO says they are backing APC. What is this? Seriously. And really and truly, only 12 candidates were fielded. And of those 12 now, we're saying that about 4 or 5 or 6 of them have issues.
I've already have issues. What exactly are we dealing with here? I think that everybody needs to get their house in order quickly. Also, there's an accusation by former governor of Rivers State, like you had mentioned Rivers, I just remembered now, where he had said, that's Rotimi Amaechi, where he had said that the current governor spends about 50 million naira on alcohol per week. You know,
Rotimi Amaechi went ahead to talk about the information being from the supplier of alcohol. Baba, you don't cast the dealer now, because if true, this person, they supply 50 million worth of alcohol per week. That's good business for him.
His business is good.
Now, Amaechi said that when he was governor, it cost him about 110 million to build primary schools. And that means, you know, in a month, he's drinking 2 primary schools. Maybe him and his guys, though.
I think it's I think that's a hefty accusation. I honestly think that. I won't say that is unbelievable, but it's a lot.
I'm going to say that politics in Rivers State is not for the faint-hearted.
It's not. Funny enough, shout out to the people of Rivers State. The presidential elections were actually way more peaceful than in recent times.
Than it used to be, but I don't even want to talk about it. I just want to say that politics in Rivers State is not for the faint-hearted. There's no filter. There's nothing they can say. There's nothing that can happen. Nothing.
So do not be surprised when you see some of these things. Quickly, about 3,200 Labour Party members have defected to the PDP in Abia State.
Maybe the same old thing is going to happen where PDP always takes the East.
The East, yeah.
Maybe.
You know, we're talking about it, how people need to understand that presidential elections and governorship elections,
two different things entirely.
Definitely 2 different things. Also, the PDP has now suspended 2 former ministers and 5 others in Kebbi State.
Anti-party.
To the elections.
That anti-party woman. Why you there?
Anyway, that is all we're able to talk about. Wanted to talk about sports, but I think some of these stories we'll still be able to talk about tomorrow. So on that note, thank you for listening. Thank you very much for watching. We'll be back again tomorrow at 3 p.m. West African time. Have a beautiful, beautiful time ahead.
Peace.